Okay, hey guys, this is the first time of me recording with my new camera in front, and it's good to see the screen as well, so I can see what I'm actually doing. But I have a new project for you. I'm doing a lot of changes with my systems, or it's going to be systems by the end of it. It's only one computer at the minute. As you can see, I've got quite a few stuff sat here, and I'll quickly go through them. This is going to be the Stryker portion. I'm going to have a Trooper and a Stryker rig set up. So I'm also going to have the CM Storm Stryker case. And then inside that I'm going to have EVGA's new X79 motherboard. The X79 Dark. It looks like it's going to be a very nice board. I haven't seen anything too wrong about it at the minute. So that is fine. The only problems I've seen people having is with the Marvel SATA 6 controller, which I won't be using anyway. I'll probably even disable it, so that doesn't really bother me. On top of that, cool, inside this I'm going to have for the time being, a i7 3820. Later down the line that's going to be upgraded to an Ivy Bridge E processor. Probably the 4930K, but that'll be a bit later down the line. And cooling the current 3820 is going to be Cooler Masters one of Cooler Masters all-in-one water coolers. And this is the 240ml version, so it's got plenty, is all I can say. It's got plenty of cooling potential for my quad-core i7 as it is. That supports all the sockets I need. Just so you know as well, each of these products are going to have a full unboxing video uploaded to the channel that you're currently watching this video on as well. So if I remember, I'll put annotations as I'm talking about each one of these. But yeah, that cooler is going to be ran in a push-pull configuration with 4 Noise Blocker Pro PL1 fans. These are 900 RPM, very, very silent fans, 11 decibels. So that's going to be very nice. I'm also going to have inside it a couple of OCZ solid state drives. I'm actually looking at my old rig here to remind myself what they are. A Be Quiet Dark Power Pro, 1000 watt power supply. A GTX 780 and a 3 terabyte Western digital drive. It's the WD Red. You'll get more look at that in a bit. First off, I need to get all this unboxed and sorted, and then once that's all out of the box and ready to go, then I'll start taking stuff out of this, and I'll give you a proper nice look at all the components that's going in this one, and then we'll move on to the Trooper. So that's this part over and done with. I'm going to apologise in advance. Lighting, there's not a lot I can do about it at this moment in time, I'm afraid. So what you get is what you've got. So without further ado, let's move on to the next part of this video. Right, okay guys, so I have been just trying to get the case ready to start the build. First off, I've turned the front fans around, so they're now pulling air in, as well as turned the fans around as well, so the fan cable's on the other side as opposed to down there like they were. I've removed the top fan to make room for the CPU cooler, well, for the radiator, and I've turned this one around, so instead of the fan cable being down here, it's up there. Also put the rear I/O shield in and moved all the front cables around back. My Trooper is still there, going strong, just waiting to be switched off, which will be done once I'm ready. And then over here on my bed, I've got all the stuff laying out that I need. Next I'm going to install the CPU cooler and go from there. Right, hey guys, so I've test fitted my motherboard, the X79 Dark, all as well. As I suspected before I started filming this, because of the height of the VRM cooler, I will not be able to do push-pull configuration without modding the handle on the top of the case to have the fans outside. So I can have them fans on top, and then I'll be able to do it. But I haven't got the time to do that today, so that'll be done later on down the line. So I need to get this build up and running as soon as possible, and it's just not possible at the moment in time. So yeah, so for the time being I'm running out of a push-pull config until I've got time to mod that handle. One downside of this is that the fans might not actually be powerful enough out of the push-pull config to cool the CPU, so I'll just have to see and hope for the best. In the meantime, I need to carry on building, but this looks amazing inside. Cannot wait to get this finished. So I'll be back with some more updates in a minute. Right, hi guys. Okay, so we're getting somewhere now. All the new stuff is in the new case. As you can see, I've got the X79 Dark in there, all ready to go. CPU cooler all ready to go and get mounted. All I need to do now is take some stuff out of here, and that is the power supply, hard drive which is in there, graphics card, RAM, CPU cooler, and the SSDs behind the motherboard tray. This is actually going to be the longest part. My SSDs are running in RAID 0, and I'm hoping it'll be a seamless transfer over to here. Well, over to here. But I'm going to get it all, hopefully, all across perfectly fine. I've got about an hour and a half until work, and hopefully I can get as much done as I possibly can. Unless I get pulled in to go in early, else it's going to have to wait until I finish work, and it's going to be about gone midnight until I actually get this up and running. At that point I really hope it's I've got the RAID transfers fine. So, oh god, almost fell over. That's the old system right there, getting ready to be replaced by the new. Let's get this going. Right, okay, I've just got back from work and it is 11:15 at night. Now I've had a little brainwave, which I don't know why I never thought about this before, but I thought of it at work. I'm going to swap the fans over, so now on the other side of the radiator, and I'm also then going to stick one of my two fans on top, and then obviously then when I eventually get round to modding the top to fit both fans, all I have to do is fit the second fan. It's, you know, I've got to do what I've got to do now. Then it also gives me that bit extra cooling now. I've also got my LED strips fitted. One there and one there, and up to the top. So that one will light up across here, that one will light up across there, and they are connected via the 2-pin ones. These are normally used for the front fans that have LEDs, but not this time. The LEDs in the front are never going to be turned on, because they're this. That allows me to turn these LEDs on and off at night, which is very handy. I've also got my solid state drives in and my hard drive. I've still got to do a bit of cable management there, as you can see. It's a bit messy still, and still got to do all the cable management on the back as well. So I'm going to get on and do this and hopefully not wake up anyone in the house as I do it. Stay tuned for more updates. Okay, so that is everything all plugged in around back. I haven't actually done any cable management around back, so it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. I mean, I haven't really put that much effort into this front bit down here either, but hey ho, it's getting late and I want this up and running. Now comes the trickiest part, and that is not to destroy my RAID 0 configuration, but hopefully I'll be able to transfer that right across. So yeah, I've sort of got it in a push-pull configuration. Also I've got this one fan here, no fan there, but on the other side I have two fans. I assure you there is two fans there. Got my so yeah, now it's just a case of getting it back over to here where my Stryker, or where my Trooper was. It's now sat on my computer there, chair, and get all this cleared, all this mess, and go into RAID and boot it up, go into BIOS, and hope for the best. Wish me luck. Okay, it's kind of alive. Here it is, booted up, but you'll notice I've only got one stick of RAM in. With all 4 sticks in, for some reason I was getting an error. I'm going to try and resolve that now. And I'm not quite sure why the reset button is flashing. I currently have no mouse or no keyboard. It's still installing them sort of drivers, and that's about it. But it looks pretty balling, I must admit. I'm going to go over here and turn the light off. I'm actually glad I went with the white case now, as opposed to sticking it in my Trooper, because it looks fantastic, and that's what it looks like in the dark. So I now almost have keyboard. It's getting there, it's just taking its time. And once this is done, now that my RAID has successfully worked across the two, once it's done that, I'm now going to try and diagnose this problem I'm having with the RAM. See if it's board or RAM at fault. I mean, I hope it's not board, but as soon as this is fully working RAM pulled out of a fully working system, my initial guess would be it's something to do with the board, or it just wasn't in properly to begin with. We now have maths, so I'm going to sort this out and I'll be back soon. Right, so I've now got all 4 sticks in again, and it's actually working and fine. Got 16 gigs detected, perfectly fine. So it must have just been a slight mishap on my placement of it. Perhaps one of the 6 weren't quite in properly. So yeah, but it's actually up and running now, so all 16 gig. Fans going. Surprised it's a lot quieter than I was thinking it was going to be, because in fact I've now got more fans on. But I'm going to track down the noise I've got at the moment and replace them fans anyway. But yeah, I'll do a full walk around in the morning, so stay tuned for that. Right, okay guys, so it's 4 o'clock on the next day. If I zoom you right in. Okay, don't zoom, that's fine by me, focus either. So, what have I done? I've got Hat PC's fully up and running now. Got the boiler going off in my background, which is very annoying. But you can see that's fully operational. Got a nice little finishing touch here. Oh, for God's sake, you stupid camera. Sorry about this, folks. It's the autofocus on this doesn't seem to like it, but you can just about see what it says. It says Intel Core i7 inside. It's a nice metallic one, shiny one. And so now that is pretty much finished, it's now on to the next part, which is the Trooper. So as you can see, what I've basically done is I've stripped the Trooper down and dusted most of it out, got most of the dust out with cans of compressed air. I've actually used almost 3 cans of it, and it's still not completely dust free. I mean, you can see there, there's dust on that, so, but it's close enough to what I need it for. So, and then over here I've got most of the parts laying out. I've still got my CPU over here. But yeah, so this is the Xeon, what I've got to go on there. And then obviously there's the motherboard. Switched over to the correct BIOS for it. And obviously all the parts of the case I've had to remove and dusted out. So I've got the front, side bits, CPU cooler there, and the push-pull config top of it, the roof. Everything laid out. I've got the power supply on my bed, but that's all been cleaned out. So now it's just a case of preparing the case to start building again. And I've got all the drive covers there, loads of screws everywhere. And then basically once that's done, what's going to happen is that the Trooper's going to sit against the wall here with an Ethernet cable running from it to the Stryker. Hence why I chose the dark with its dual LAN ports, because that made it extremely helpful. I've also got my spare hard drive here as well. That's going to go in. But that needs to go in. Yep, finding all the stuff now what I just had laying about. So there we go. Stay tuned for more as I prepare this case for usage. Okay, so case is upside down, but power supply in, cables managed, as well as the CPU cooler in. And I've ran into the limitations of my spare power supply. For some reason, Cooler Master, you've only put 3 Molex connectors on this power supply. So 750 watt power supply, it should really have more than just 3 connectors, Molex connectors. Definitely when I have 9 SATA power cables. Like, not a lot of people are going to need 9 power cable. What we're going to say, yeah, not a lot of people will need 9 data SATA cables. So why? But a lot of people will need more than 3 Molex connectors. So that's a bit of an issue. The reason why I need another one is I'm going to be running the fans on 5 volt with no included adapters, and I've got one in, and that will go up into that Molex one. There. I've got the main power for the front panel there. That one's on Molex. That's another one, as well as the X dock there, which is necessary for this build. Has another Molex. That's all 3 Molex connections used up, and sadly, for whatever reason, I don't seem to have a Molex splitter laying about. I thought I did actually have an extension laying about somewhere, but took one and put them into 5, but obviously I don't. So I'm going to have to get one of them before I can continue to build. But if I drop the camera down and place you there, I will stand the computer up. I'll let you see inside. So that's the inside. Obviously I've also got RAM and graphics card to put in, that's it. I haven't actually got either of them at the moment. They're going to be purchased later on, either next month or the month after. But yeah, so that's all in. Obviously I've got to put the drawer back in still, but it doesn't get much more tidier than that, really, does it? So, yep. Basically, as well, one thing I will say is, for those of you thinking it's a 2011 CPU, 2 fans on 5 volts, not going to be enough to cool it. It is actually running its 1.6 gigahertz the CPU, so it's very it's very cool running CPU. It doesn't have that much heat, despite being an 8-core 16 threaded CPU, so that should be fine. If it's not, then 7 volts will be. So, but yeah, stay tuned for more on this in a second.